Now, as I mentioned before, I also want to be able to delete friends. And for that, let's say in the friendContact.view component, I will add a third button besides the other buttons which we already have. Let's say below this list which we have in every friend contact item. There, I'll add a new button where I say delete. And I want to do what this name implies. So of course I want to listen to a click and then, for example, trigger the delete friend method. And in this method, which we add in the friendContact.view file, in this method we now want to do what? Well, in the end we need to emit a custom event again, because the friends array is managed in app.view. And if we want to delete a friend, we need to delete it from this array, because it's this array which we're rendering with v4. So inside of friend contact, we basically just need to, you could say, forward the information that the user clicked the delete button here. So here we again just call this emit, $emit, with any event name of your choice, like delete. Now, if that is all you're doing, of course, you can also not use a separate method like this, though you absolutely can do it, nothing wrong with it, but you can also not do that and instead go to your template and just call emit in here, like this, and here without the this keyword, like always in the template. This is just an alternative, and it's up to you what you prefer. I'm doing both. For toggle favorite, I'm taking this extra method in which I call this emit, and for delete, I'm now not doing this, and I'm instead directly calling emit in the template. Nonetheless, you want to add this to your emits array to make it clear that this friend contact component has a delete event which will be emitted at some point. And now we can listen to this custom event on this friend contact component. So in the place where we are using that component. In this case, again, the app.view file. And in here, we can listen to the delete event with @delete on this component, and then point at a method that should handle this. Delete contact sounds like a fitting method name to me. So now in app.view, I'll add this delete contact method. And in here, I now want to remove that contact from my array. Now, what's missing here? Well, some identification criteria, right? We need to know which contact should be deleted. So just as before, for toggling the favorite status, it would be good to get the ID of the friend that should be deleted. And therefore, also just as before, we can go to friendContact.view and pass this as a second argument to emit, and forward the ID prop, which we are getting here. So refer to that here and pass it with delete. So now in app.view, here in delete contact, we now want to find the friend with that ID and delete him or her. And an elegant way of doing that in JavaScript, when you have an array and you want to delete an array based on some information you have about the item that should be removed, is you can override the array and assign a new value to this property that stores the array, so the friends property in this case, and use the old array but call the filter method on it. Filter is a method that's built into JavaScript which will return a new array based on the array on which you're calling it. And it will return the array on which you are calling it except for the elements you're filtering out. For that, filter wants a function which you provide as an argument. And if that function returns true, an element is kept around. If that function returns false, the element is deleted. It's a function which will receive the element as an input automatically by JavaScript. So this will run for every friend in Friends, and JavaScript will feed in every friend step by step. And we should return true if we want to keep the item, or false otherwise. And this arrow function syntax is just a different way of writing a function in JavaScript, by the way. And here, I can therefore now check if the friend ID is not equal to the friend ID I'm getting here. I'm checking for non-equality because if it is equal, I want to keep it. So by checking for non-equality, I ensure that if the IDs are equal, I return false, because if they are equal, I want to remove that friend. And I mentioned that items are dropped if we return false here. So I want to return false if we find a matching ID. With that, we generate a brand new friends array, which is the old array minus the friend with this ID, and then we store that back into our friends data property. View will then detect this change in friends, it will see that friends changed, it will re-render that list and update the UI appropriately. So if we now save that, and I click on delete here on manual, you see manual is gone. And of course we can also delete Julie. If we reload, the data is back, because all of that is of course just happening in JavaScript and therefore in memory. But later we will also see how we can send such data to a server and store it permanently on a server-side database. But for the moment, this is a huge step forward because it shows us what we can do with components, and we got more practice with components now.